Did you know there's a major international climate conference going on right now? In Dubai? Yep, COP28 is happening at this very moment, and I'm here to tell you why you should care. First, these talks, called the Conference of Parties, gives every country and economy a chance to be on the record in a public sphere to talk about climate change, and not only how it impacts them, but also how they are going to tackle it. This kind of peer pressure is important, and everyone that signed on to the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement is required to spell out their nationally determined contributions, or NDPs. These are the roadmaps used to help keep average global temperatures from rising past 2 degrees Celsius or 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit compared to pre-industrial levels. Now, 2 degrees is really the maximum scientists say we can go before there are some really bad consequences for humans on Earth. But in reality, everyone is talking about 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit as the real goal. That brings us to the second reason why these talks are important. They set clear goals. Cutting greenhouse emissions and staying below 1.5 is one of the hallmarks of US President Biden's climate goals, seen in his Climate Reduction Act, with billions being pumped into green energy all around the country. China is also on the forefront of green energy, sharing its know-how for developing sustainable projects abroad. There are over 500 renewable energy facilities in 83 countries with Chinese partnerships today. The third reason, money. Within the first days of this conference, delegates adopted a new climate disaster fund, the first of its kind. Less developed countries have argued for this loss and damage fund for years. The way they see it, industrialized nations were able to grow and prosper by using cheap and dirty energy for decades. And now, when they want to move their economies forward, they're being told, hold on now, there's too much pollution. No coal for you. At the same time, many of these poorer nations are also the ones feeling the worst effects of climate change. This fund is aimed at helping compensate the nations that didn't contribute to the current climate crisis with money from the major emitters. But there's a long way to go. The fund hasn't been set up to be continually financed, and although hundreds of millions of dollars have been pledged, the cost of climate change could be astronomical. On that note, the United Arab Emirates, COP28's host country, did get some flack because it is a major producer of gas and oil, both linked to climate change. But its president just announced a $30 billion climate fund that hopes to attract another $250 billion in investment by the end of this decade, all to pump into green energy initiatives. They are also building the world's largest solar plant with help from China. All these meetings are a way to move forward, pursuing the goal of mitigating climate change and building clean energy. But there's one big thing to consider. None of these agreements are binding, meaning there's no consequence for saying one thing at COP28 and then going back home to business as usual. That's why it's important to pay attention to the promises made here, so that you, the public, can remind your leaders of what they signed on to. And that's why you should care.